I didn't want to have this conversation so early, but we're here now, and I feel like I have to.
It's you running through my veins. Your love runs through my veins.
What's up, YouTube family? So this video I feel like needed to be made because I know that there's most likely a lot of people who are in the same predicament that I've found myself in, of having to explain to your children the chaos that is going on around them and that is flooding the television. And so just trying to answer their questions when you really don't have answers yourself. So by this time, I hope everyone knows of the murder of George Floyd, that they've heard about the case and the murder of Ahmaud Arbery and the countless other men and women, melanated African-American men and women who were killed unjustly at the hands of police, and basically the culmination of all of that is happening and spilling out onto the streets. So I talked it over with my husband, and we both decided that it was time for us to have the talk with our boys. And if you don't know what the talk is, then God bless you and lucky you. But the talk is having to explain to your children the fine line between African Americans and the general public, and specifically in this case, the police, that for no reason of their own, at no fault of their own, some people will always view their skin as wrong and will always, for whatever reason, find a way to weaponize that skin tone. I really don't, it's more a smile to keep from crying kind of situation, because I really don't have answers. Like, I don't know what to tell my children, like how to explain it to them. I'm trying to think in my mind of the questions that they are going to ask me as I start to explain things to them. And all the answers that I'm coming up with in my mind don't seem to make sense. And that's most likely because these situations make no sense. But I'm going to try. So last night I searched the internet. I went to Epic, and if you don't know what Epic is, like a reading service, it has a whole bunch of books on it for kids. Thomas's school had given him a subscription to Epic to finish out the school year. And I searched on there to see if they had any like books that explained it or could help me to explain the situations that were happening. And they didn't have any books, history books of any kind, like none, zero. I don't know why I was surprised, because even as I was growing up in school, Black history and all that stuff wasn't really something that people, touched on much, especially in our books. Like, slavery was one chapter, and then that was it. And then the rest was about the Civil War for like the next 3 chapters. So I don't know why I was surprised when there weren't many books to help. But I did find one book that talked about accepting people's differences. So I'm going to read them that story and then try to tie that into of how people view our differences as a reason to hate each other and to mistreat each other, and how that is not okay. So hopefully things will go well, and I will be able to explain it in a way that they will understand, but also in a way that doesn't discourage them about the future or make them feel a certain kind of way about white people. That is what I really don't want. I want them to be aware, but I don't want them to hate. So I'm trying to figure out the words now before I call them up here so that we can have a talk. And the hardest part about this is my kids are so innocent, and I want them to stay innocent. So the way that my husband and I raised them has been strictly for the purpose of protecting their innocence. I want them to stay children. I want them to enjoy their childhood without having to worry about adult issues and all the craziness that we know and we see on a daily basis. I don't want my kids to have to worry about that. So it may be doing a disservice now because kind of having to backtrack on all the things that we've taught them, of saying like, oh, police are the good guys, you have nothing to worry about. And then for me now to have to turn around and say police aren't always the good guys. So I don't know how this is going to go. I really don't know. I know you've seen Mommy and my mom watching the news a lot.
Yep.
And you see like everybody setting things on fire.
Yes.
And they're running through the streets and they're arguing with the police. Do you know what that's about?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, well, there was a man who was being arrested by police officers, and one officer, while the man was on the ground, put his knee on the man's neck. And the man kept saying that he couldn't breathe and that he needed help and asking them to stop, but they didn't. And the man died. So now everyone is very upset that the police did that to the man. And so that is why, yes.
But I thought police officers were supposed to be nice. They should have let him have the air.
I know. And that's what everybody is mad about. The police should have, I'm coming to you. The police should have let him have air. That's what everybody is upset about. But that is a very good observation. The police are supposed to be the good guys. We're supposed to be able to trust them. Yes, Theo?
Because we gotta ask questions. If we don't ask questions, then they're not gonna know what to do. And that's why they need to be good.
Yes. They need to be good. And that's what everybody's doing. They want to know why the police officer did that. And they want to know what his punishment is going to be. Yes, Theo?
Can you read that book now?
Yes. So Mommy got you a book. Because a lot of this let me talk in words y'all understand. But a lot of the reasons that things like this happen is because of something called racism. Do you know what that is?
No.
Theo, do you know what racism is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's when you wipe the bone. That is the way. That way
Oh, that was a good try. Calm down. Calm down. That was a good try. But racism, Theo, can I get through my point, please? Thank you so much. Okay, but racism is when you don't like someone because of this. The color of your skin. So when someone doesn't like you because your skin is brown, that's racism.
So now can we read the book?
Yes. So now I'm going to read you a book about how we need to learn to respect other people's differences. Yes, Theo?
And now you read it right now.
Okay, I'm trying. Can I set up the scene so y'all understand what is happening in the world? Goodness gracious. Okay, so this is you can respect differences. So as I read the story, it's going to ask you questions, and you guys are going to have to make choices. And the choices you make determine the ending of this story. Okay? Ben and his family are at the neighborhood cookout. Some kids his age are there. One girl is in a wheelchair. Ben has never met a kid in a wheelchair before.
Mommy.
So now, Theo, let me finish the story, please. All right, so now here's your first question. What happens next? If Ben does nothing, then I'll just turn the page. And if Ben says hello, I'll turn to a different page and change the story. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do nothing? Or do you want to go say hello?
Hello.
Theo, do you want to do nothing or go say hello?
Nothing.
Nothing?
We gotta go say hello.
All right, we'll read the story both ways then. First, we're going to go say hello. We're going to see what happens when we say hello. And then I'll reread it and see what would happen if we did nothing.
I need the
Oh, you want to
thing.
see the pictures? Okay, I can do that. All right, so Tom says turn the page. Or no, Thomas, you wanted to be a friend, right? So you said
Hello.
say hello. Okay. Ben wonders about Aisha's wheelchair. He tries not to assume anything about it. He talks to Aisha first. Hi, my name is Ben, he says to the girl. Hi, Ben, she replies. I'm Aisha. Do you want to play basketball? Ben is surprised. You can play basketball in a wheelchair? Aisha laughs. Of course. Come on, I'll show you, she says. Soon the two kids are having fun together. All right, so now let's go back to the beginning of the story. How did that end? Because
he didn't. Because in the beginning, first he saw her. Because first he didn't know the girl's name, and she was in the wheelchair. But then they were at someone's backyard party, and then he saw her.
yeah, and he saw her, and at first he was a little scared of it, right?
Yeah, he was scared.
He was a little nervous. I don't know if scared is a good word, but he was nervous. Yes, Theo. Yes, sweetheart.
And why the guy over there? Then they said the guy over there.
Okay, this
And
is not a time to be silly, okay? This is very serious.
Really serious?
Yes, Mommy is trying to explain to you something very serious that happened in the world, and it could happen to anybody. And I don't want it to happen to you, so I'm trying to explain to you the situation, okay?
Okay.
So can you shake your sillies off for me, please?
Get me off!
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, Thomas.
I know when this happened, a little girl, some people didn't treat brown people right. They couldn't go to school. Only white kids can because they only said white kids were only allowed to use vehicles and black kids weren't.
Yes. Vehicles?
Yeah, they had
Theo, just raise your hand. All the extraness is not necessary. Yes.
That's not fair. That means white people gotta go in jail. Then white people can go there. Then y'all take all of the white people to jail for the black people, for the brown people to go to school and grow up.
Well, thankfully you guys can go to school now, but a lot of people had to fight for that right for you guys. They had to do a lot of marching. And they had to suffer a lot of Theo, Mommy is talking. I'm talking. Okay? They had to suffer a lot of hardships for you guys to be able to go to school wherever and with whoever you want to. Okay?
Now let's all go.
So, once he got over how nervous he was of Aisha because he was different, and Ben talked to her, what happened?
They got to bed and play together.
They got together, they played together, they became friends. And he realized they weren't so different after all, right?
Yeah.
Alright, but now let's see how the story would end if we did what Theo wanted to do and we did nothing. So I'm going to start the story over. Ben and his family are at a neighborhood cookout. Some kids his age are there. One girl is in a wheelchair. Ben has never met a kid in a wheelchair before. Ben wants to play basketball with all the kids, but he's not sure about the girl in the wheelchair. Should he ask her or not? He is afraid to talk to someone who looks different. So now you have another choice to make. Do you not talk to the girl, or do you go talk to the girl?
You go talk to the girl.
No, come on, Theo, make your choice.
You don't talk to the girl.
My choice is I want to talk to the girl.
All right, but this was Theo's original choice. He didn't want to talk to her, so we're going to turn the page again. Before Ben talks to anyone, the girl wheels up to him. Hi, my name is Aisha. What's yours? Ben says nothing, but Aisha isn't shy. She asks him, do you want to play a game? So Theo, come on, your choice. Now you have a new choice to make. Do you say, no, I don't want to play, or do you go play?
No.
No, again?
I go play.
Okay.
I don't know that.
So now, Ben doesn't know what to do. I don't want to play, he replies. Ben walks off to find someone else to play with. A few minutes later, Ben sees Aisha playing basketball with a group of kids. Everyone looks like they are having fun with Aisha. She can do cool spins with her wheelchair. Now Ben wishes he hadn't assumed Aisha couldn't play. He should have gotten to know her instead. The end.
Yay!
Yay! Now he's not playing with anybody.
Because he's all alone. Because he wants to know what. Because it's up their skin. Because he's a white boy and she's a brown girl.
Well, no, in this story they're using, it's along the same lines, but they're using the fact that she's different from him because she's in a wheelchair and he's not.
Because his legs aren't hurting and hers are because.
Yes. Theo, can you stop, sweetheart? Thank you. All right, so do you see the difference when you let someone's difference from you get in the way of just getting to know them?
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what happens in the world. People will look at your brown skin and they'll say, I don't want to talk to him because I heard that black people with his skin color are not good people. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not going to be his friend. In fact, I think I'm kind of scared of him because I think he's going to hurt me. He's going to try to take all my stuff. I don't like him. And is that fair?
No, that isn't fair. Brown people don't hurt other people.
There are bad people in the world that are all different colors. It's not just one color of people that is completely bad.
It's good time because why you said if the school is open, you gotta go to school.
No, schools aren't open.
And why you said why the school open?
No, we were talking about schools because a long time ago, black kids weren't allowed to go to school with
Only
white kids.
white kids, because they all had to be separated because of the color of their skin. Brown kids couldn't be with white kids because their skin was all different. So they all separated from the black people, from the black kids, and they all had laughed at them because of the color of their skin.
Yes, and that's not right.
Mom, you didn't want to go yourself. I'm real. But then one girl, she stepped up and told everything had to be fair. White people could go with black people now.
Yes, there were a lot of people who fought.
Wait.
Yes.
He had white. He had white, and he'll have brown. Wait. Yeah. I said yes now.
When you say yes now, you should talk to her and play with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's how the world should be. No one should be afraid of you because your skin is brown. And no one should think that you're a bad guy just because your skin is brown. They should get to know you first. Okay?
Okay.
So that is why we've been not watching the news so much. Because an officer let the color of that man's skin get in the way of seeing that the man was still a human being. And that should be something we should never forget. Okay?
Yeah, because everybody deserves a breath. Me deserves some air. Because without air, they will die. Because we need oxygen.
Yes, everyone deserves the right to breathe.
Because the police officers aren't bad guys, they're good guys.
Very true. And I know you want to be a police officer when you get older, Thomas. So, hold on, Theo. And I'll come right to you. So, when you become a police officer, what are you going to do? When you see another officer doing something bad to someone, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna do is, hey, that isn't right. White people deserve, black people deserve air. So get off of him.
Yes, you need to never be afraid to speak up to your friends, the people you work with. If they're doing wrong, say that they're doing wrong, and don't be afraid to say that they're doing something wrong.
So to make this all stop, we need to teach people the right way, how to treat black people and all white people to be fair.
Yes, and not even just white people and black people. We just want people to treat other people the way they would want to be treated.
Yeah. Mommy,
Yes.
after we're finished with this, can we go outside and play football?
So what do we talk about today? Why are we watching the news?
Why are we watching the news? Because everything isn't fair. Because a white police officer looked at the color of a man's skin and he didn't let him get air. So if I was a police officer and there was a white person and they put their knee on a man's neck, I would on a brown man's neck, I would say, get off of him. Everyone in the whole wide world needs to have air, and that isn't fair that you're not letting him. So this isn't fair because of his skin. It doesn't matter of the skin. It just matters if he's still alive.
Okay. But I don't want you to think that all police officers are bad guys, because they're not. There are good police officers out there. However, there are people, and some of them are police officers, who think that way, that because your skin is brown, you're automatically the bad guy, okay? So if ever you get into a situation where a police officer says, hey, I want to talk to you, what I want you to say is, I'm so sorry, but I cannot talk to you without my parents. Okay?
Okay, so if a white police officer...
Not a white police officer, and any color police officer. Theo, can you sit down for me, please, and listen?
So he says, hello, I need to go ask you, right?
I want to hear next to you.
What'd you say?
So you said...
If any color police officer comes up to you and says, hey kid, I want to talk to you, you say, I'm so sorry, but I can't speak to you without my parents.
So if daddy or you are there, we have to say, Mommy, Daddy, some strange man we don't know about is here.
Yeah, strangers, period. You don't talk to strangers without your parents. But especially if a cop says, hey, I want you to come talk to me, or hey, I want to take you to the police station, you say, I'm so sorry, but I cannot speak to you without my parents.
And so I had to talk, so I had to say Mommy or you.
Yes, you have to come get us. But I just want you to be aware of what's happening in the world. So when you see us watching the news and you see all the fires and everything going on, I don't want you guys to be afraid. I just want you to understand what's happening. Okay?
Okay, is it done? Are we done now?
Yeah, we're done. So, I don't know if you can call that a success. I really don't. I don't know. Like, I'm at a loss for words all around the board. Like, for what's happening on the news and just having to explain it to them. I feel like Tom understood some things, but Theo, being that he's only 5, was completely off in like imagination station, which is fine. He's really young right now, so I already know that eventually we'll have to re-explain it to him when he gets older. But Tom is 8, so he caught on to some things. And again, I don't want him to feel like he really wants to be a cop when he gets older. So I don't want him to feel like, oh, cops are bad and my mom's going to be upset if I grow up to be a cop. Like, that's not what I hoped. I hope that conversation didn't deter him from being what he wants to be when he grows up. And I know he's a child and it'll probably change like 10 more times before he actually becomes an adult. But right now, again, I want to protect his innocence and his childhood and just let him be a child. So whatever his dream is right now, I want him to be secure in that. So I hope that he just took from it to be the cop that the world needs, and to, like I told him, to not be afraid to stand up for what's right, no matter who it is that you have to stand up against. But again, we'll probably have to have the discussion again. Hopefully, we won't have to have the discussion again. And this will be the last time. Like, I really hope that we won't have to go down this road yet again and basically watch the world burn in order for change to happen, because something's got to give. Please, everyone, stay safe. Stay sane, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.